think the score is going to be.
Okay, we are taking. Okay, we're doing this problem right here. We're going to use the quadratic formula to be able to solve it. The first thing that we do have up here is we have g squared minus 6g minus 16 equals 0. And so we already put our quadratic formula already up here, which is negative b plus or negative the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, and looking at this problem, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and substitute the numbers here with our formula. So the first thing we want to do here is go ahead and put, instead of negative b, negative or positive, we're going to go ahead and put negative. So what do we have for b over here? What is b?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. So we're going to put negative 6. So since it's already a negative 6 and our formula asks us to put negative 6, we're going to put negative 6 plus or minus the square root of, and what we said b was again? What was b?
I mean 6, negative 6.
Negative 6. So we're going to put negative 6 squared, okay? Then we're going to go ahead and continue our problem. Then we have minus 4, and then we have a, and then we have c. You got to keep this in mind. Whenever we're doing this formula, this negative does not apply to the 4 here. It's independent. It's right here in the middle here. So whatever you get here, you're going to subtract that with whatever you get over here when you multiply 4 times a and c. Now what we say a was? We're going to fill that in. A is 1, so we'll go ahead and put 1 in there. And what do we say c was?
Negative 6.
Negative 16.
Negative 16. Okay. So we'll go ahead and now the next step is rewriting the same information. But we're going to solve some of it. So this right here is a double negative. So what does this double negative become?
A positive.
A positive. So we're going to write that as positive 6 plus or negative the square root, and then we're going to fill in all this other information, but we're going to go ahead and solve this. So negative 6 squared is the same thing as what?
Negative 36.
Almost.
6 squared. Positive 36.
Thank you, positive 36. So we're talking about negative 6 times negative 6, right? So that is positive. So we have 36. Okay. Then like I told you, this minus on the formula here is going to be independent. So we're going to go ahead and just make that independence. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and do our math for the other two problems that we have here. Okay. So we have 4 times 1, which is 4. So we have 4 times negative 16. If we do our math correct, we have 4 times 6 should have given us 24. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 6. So we have negative 64. And so I'm going to erase this a little bit and make it a little bit neater. So it'll be negative 64 when we do our math correctly. And so now what we've done is we got rid of all of this inside here. All of that's done, and we've transformed it here, so our problem looks a little bit better. Now we're going to deal with our 2a in a minute. I usually deal with that at the end, because we have to divide by whatever our answer is going to be for whatever we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to keep our problem moving. We have a positive 6 plus the square root of 36, double negative 64. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go ahead and write down the 6 plus, and then we're going to go ahead and solve what's inside of here. Okay, so we solve what's inside here. We have 36 minus minus. When you have a double minus, what does that become?
Positive.
So that means we add those two together. What should we get?
100.
So we get 100 here. Now we also going to divide that by 2. Okay, 2a is a part of our formula here. Now we do our formula. 2a is nothing but 2 times, what is a?
1.
A is 1. So that's basically just 2. So we can actually just leave that like that. Okay, so we're almost done with a part of our problem. And I'm going to put 2 boxes here. I'm going to put a box here. Okay, and I'll put another box over here because we're going to have 2 separate answers. 2 separate part of the same answer, actually. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we know that 6. We're going to try plus first, plus, because remember in our problem, it said our formula said negative b plus or negative. And so that's why we're going to try plus, and that's going to go here, and we're going to go 6 negative, and it's gonna go there. We're gonna plug in what we're gonna do here. Now, what did we say the square root of 100 was?
10.
10. So let's go ahead and put the 10 there. And remember, we're gonna divide that by 2. Okay? And then the next one over here, we have negative 6 minus, and we said the square root of 100 was what again?
10.
It's 10. So minus 10 over
2.
2. Okay, so if we look at both of these problems here, we're almost done. We're almost done with our problem. So we have G equals,
8.
first of all, let's go ahead and 6 plus 10 will be what? 16.
8.
And then 2. Okay, so we have 16 divided by 2 is what?
8.
So we have an 8 here. And then on this side we have a positive. Since there's no number here, or there's no sign there, that's going to automatically be positive. So we have a positive 6 and a negative 10. Those signs are different.
4.
So we subtract it.
Subtract what we get?
4.
We get negative 4 over 2, which is what?
Negative
I thought it was negative 2.
It is negative 2.
We're dividing as no, it's 2. Look, negative 4 is the answer is going to be negative 2, but the problem we're dividing is 2.
Oh,
So it's going to be negative 2.
That's the way I'm done.
That's the total, that'll be your total answer will be G equals negative 2 on this side and G equals 8 on this side. Okay? So give you guys an applause. You guys did a good job. Glad that's over.
Joey